Good morning and welcome. It is Saturday, August the 29th, and this is Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. Today we're going to move through Matthew chapter 11, and it begins with a summary statement, and it's kind of a transition into another section of the gospel. And up to this point, we have been becoming familiar with the mission of Jesus, and how those who participate are to participate in it through word and response, accepting and rejecting this message as Christ gives it. Now, all that has been shared thus far will get a response from others that shape the ultimate outcome of the mission. Everything that has been said, there's going to be an outcome, and where we are with that outcome is going to be very, very dependent on something that's a major subject here of Matthew 11, and that is our faith. There's probably nothing more vulnerable than our faith and trust in God and in other people. In Matthew 11, 1 through 19, John the Baptist is in prison, and he wants to have his faith in the Messiah, or the Christ. He wants to have his faith in what Jesus has been doing affirmed. And John believes that what Jesus has been sent to do was from God, and he's believed that ever since the episode back in Matthew 3 when he baptized him. But he's now in prison, and he's facing death, and like any human being, he just wants to have something affirmed. And we might think that we don't have moments of weakness in our faith or moments where we question things, but we do, if we're honest. And our faith and trust is perhaps one of the most vulnerable things that we ever have to deal with. And if you pay attention to what Jesus says here in verses 7 through 15, he honors John. He says John was more than a prophet, verse 10. He said he's Elijah who precedes and marks the Messiah's coming, verse 14. See, the connections abound here with Matthew and the Old Testament even more, because this was originally and primarily a Jewish audience to whom Matthew was writing. And yet Jesus is finding and will find a way to invite all who have ears to listen. Now, the words about this generation in verses 16 through 19 describe those who are not able to receive the message of the kingdom, cannot be happy for any reason, and do not have the faith to trust that God is ultimately in control of everything that is going on. Ultimately. Not always, not at every moment, but ultimately is in control. And these are the people who pout because they don't get their way and people don't play their game. Well, they've got some faith and trust issues. And I hope we don't. And I hope that if we do, we'll deal with them, and we'll deal with them appropriately. And as we will begin to see next week, such an approach comes with greater problems that faith and trust in God will always be able to address. Well, this concludes this week of Sunrise to Sunset. Next week, we will begin to look at Matthew chapter 12. The sermon on Sunday will be from Exodus 3. It will be the story of the call of Moses. And I hope that it will be a sermon that will bless you, as well as I hope these videos have blessed you this week from sunrise to sunset.